Hello, this is Algebra, topic 6-6 on factoring completely. So here are some steps in factoring completely. The first thing we need to do is we need to factor out any greatest common factors. Then, we'll see how many terms are in the polynomial. Are there 2 or 3? If there are 2, we check to see if it's the difference of squares and factor it. If it's 3, we use the box method or do it mentally like we talked about last method. And we'll always factor until you can no longer factor. Okay? So let's go and have a look. Number 1, we have 6x cubed plus 3x squared minus 18x. And I know that I can pull at least an x out of everything. And so look, what's the biggest thing I can pull? Well, I can pull 3 out of 6, 3, and 18. All of those will divide by 3. So I'm going to write 3x, open parentheses. I'm going to divide everything by 3x. Well, 6x cubed divided by 3x. Well, 6 divided by 3 is 2. And x cubed divided by x would be x squared. 3x squared divided by 3x leaves us with just x because 3 divided by 3 cancels. And 18 divided by 3 would be 6, and x divided by x, they cancel. So we have 2x squared, negative 6, sum of 1, product of 12, negative 12. Well, that would be 3 and 4. Because we want this to be positive, the negative is on the 3. So negative 3x and 4x. And so to get 2x squared, we do 2x times x times a negative 3, and 2x times 2. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. So we're looking at 2x minus 3 and x plus 2. Now I look at all of these again, and I double check, can I factor them anymore? Well, 3x can't be factored. 2x minus 3 cannot be factored. X plus 2 cannot be factored, and so I am done. Moving on to number 2. I look at this and go, well, I can divide everything by 5x. So 5x cubed divided by 5x gives me, well, I can pull the 5x out. That gives me x squared. 5x divided by 5x is 1. I'm looking at this. Well, x squared is a perfect square. 1 is a perfect square. And so this turns into that. So it's 5x times x plus 1 times x minus 1. Moving on to number 3. We look at this and I go, well, I can divide everything here by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2, r squared. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So I pulled a 4 out. I'm looking at this and I've got 2 terms, but that is not a perfect square. So I cannot factor any further, and it's just 2r squared minus 1. So even though we still have a squared term, we are finished because there is no more factoring that we can do. Let's move on to number 4. 2z squared, 11z, and 15. Well, 2 and 11 have nothing in common. That 15 doesn't have any z's, so we can't pull any factors out. 2z squared, 15. We want a sum of negative 11, a product of 30. So what multiplies to 30 to give us 11? Well, 1 and 30 don't. 2 and 15 3 and 10, 6 and 5 do. I need a negative 11, so if I subtract both of those, so I have a negative 6z and a negative 5z. To get my 2z squared, I need 2z and z. 2z times a negative 3 is negative 6z. Z times a negative 5 is a negative 5z. So here we have z minus 3 and 2z minus 5. So this problem was not any different than what we were doing just a few lessons ago in the past. There was no greatest common factors for us to pull out. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at number 5. I'm looking at number 5. I can't pull 8 out, but I can definitely pull 4 out of everything. And I can pull an n out of everything. And so what this gives me is 2n squared minus 11n plus 7. So I pulled the 4n out, so it goes ahead and goes in my answer. I do my box. We have 2n squared, 7, sum of negative 11, product of 14. Well, I look, well, that's 1 and 14. Well, that doesn't cut it. 2 and 7, that doesn't cut it. There's nothing else that multiplies to 14, not 3, 4, 5, or 6. So that means that this cannot be factored anymore. So this just goes up here. 2n squared minus 11n plus 7. So we attempted to we went ahead and factored out our greatest common factor. We attempted to factor using the box method and found that we could not. Since we could not, we just wrote what we got after we divided back up top. All right, 2 more examples. One more like what we've been doing. I look at all this and I can divide all 3 of these numbers by 4. That gives me v squared minus 10v plus 9. Now you may be able to do this mentally. However, I'm going to go ahead and do the box for those of y'all that cannot do it mentally yet. We have v squared, 9, sum of 10, product of 9, v squared. That would be 1 and 9, so 1v and 9v. That's v and v. That would be 1, that would be 9. Don't forget I pulled this 4 out first. And then it's v plus 1. Sorry, not plus. Because we want a negative 10. That means these have to be negative. So this is not plus. This is minus. And then v minus 9. So, those were all the examples of stuff that we've been doing. Now let's go ahead and have a review. It's important that we remember this stuff from the past because it will keep on coming up, and math is cumulative, so you'll never know when this is going to pop up in the work that we're doing in the near future. So here we have a triangle and the sides and the ratio of 5, 12, and 13. So 5, 12, and 13. But the perimeter is 60 feet. So these are not actually 5, 12, and 13. They're 5x, 12x, and 13x. And the perimeter is 60. Well, to get the perimeter, I just simply add all sides. So 13x plus 12x plus 5x equals 60. Well, 13 plus 12 plus 5 makes 30x equals 60. Which I can see very simply that x equals 2. Now, it's not wanting x. It wants to know the shortest side. So my shortest side would be 5x. So 5 times 2 is 10. So just throw in that review question. Make sure that you still knew some basic stuff about ratios. You will need to know it. It will keep on popping up. You'll probably see it on a test somewhere later. Hint, hint. Good luck on your assignment and have a good day.